Yes, it has been a while since I've released one of these. For context, some other artists and myself have taken on the challenge of building a fantasy realm in a year. Originally, I had planned to release this chapter by chapter, disclosing information that was relevant to said chapter before making the chapter itself. However, these chapters are taking longer than expected, so I will likely be throwing this out. That being said, Chapter 1 is almost finished, so be on the lookout for that. But without further ado, on with the show. Bordering the Kingdom of Rave is another, much less prosperous nation, known as Elven State. It is a kingdom ruled by 5 powerful elves, who ruled over their subjects with iron fists. One of these subjects, who quickly became bored with the status quo, was Morpheus. Formerly a miner working for the elven lord Geoffrey of Bezos, Morpheus decided one day to abandon the monotonous work of the mines and head for the neighboring Kingdom of Rave. Of course, the elven overlords were not fans of their subjects leaving, so they attempted to try and capture him. Fortunately, their efforts failed, and Morpheus ended up in the Bipolar Woods. These were enchanted woods which were known for rapidly changing between 4 different seasons: autumn, winter, spring, and twisted. No mere mortal could survive living in these woods. However, Morpheus managed to stumble his way into a small group of settlers in these woods, who used the druidic powers of wild shape to survive the shifting forest. Morpheus stayed with them for a few years, learning their ways of wild shape as well as a fair bit of healing magic, though this healing magic was quite draining to use, and so he almost never did. However, after a few years of this, he became bored of this as well. You see, Morpheus was a drifter, constantly moving from one thing to the next, staying only for however long it caught his interest. Eventually, he made his way over to the Isle of the Draconic, where he quickly became friends with the leader of the Dragon Keepers, Drakendoltagon. Morpheus' skills of wild shape were helpful in fighting and capturing dragons, as were his healing abilities. However, as mentioned, healing magic was quite draining, and his healing was often quite more practical than magical. Hey, Morpheus, I broke my leg. Wrap a bandage around the leg, apply pressure to stop the bleeding, you'll be good in 2 weeks. Hey, Morpheus, I've been shot with an arrow. Wrap the arrow in a towel, apply pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding, I'll sew it up in a few minutes. Hey, Morpheus, I've been stabbed. Wrap a towel around the wound, don't pull out the weapon, apply pressure to stop the bleeding, and I'll sew it up in a bit. Yeah, I've been stabbed in the chest, though. Fine, I'll cast a healing spell, but I won't be happy about it. If you have ideas for what I should do next for this fantasy realm, comment below. But until then, goodbye, and I will remember you all in therapy.